All right.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. What's going on this thriving Thursday evening here in the US of A? Because I have to say, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're at in the world, because I never know who's watching, who's tuning in. So listen, this is going out for my Fierce and Fearless Weight Loss Challenge group. And for all of you that we decided to open this up to everyone. But what it is tonight, I have the pleasure of bringing a beautiful soul. I mean, when I tell you a beautiful soul inside and out, oh my gosh, who is going to grace us with her amazing webinar called A Beautiful Body Mindset. I got to repeat that. A beautiful body mindset. So when we're in this process of, losing weight or gaining weight or just having a new lifestyle, right? Of image or whatever it is we're trying to do, we have to have a different mindset about it. And we have to not only look at our body as something that we want to change or alter, but we have to look at it in the terms of its beauty that it holds. So I am just so excited for her to come on board and to share with us how we can develop this beautiful mindset. So I am here to introduce to you. I'm going to bring next to me Mr. Beautiful Miss Kesha from New World. And where you go? Here you go, love. Hey. Say hi to everybody. What's going on, Miss Kesha? Oh, we're having some technical difficulties again. She's there. I see you smiling. We can't. No. Okay, we can hear you now. There you go. There you go. So go ahead and share with everybody who you are.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for bringing me on. I'm so excited. Uh-oh.
I
Can
am
you
so
can you
excited as
hear me?
well. Yes, definitely,
Somewhat?
definitely. No, could definitely hear you.
Okay. Difficulty.
I know
Okay.
technical difficulties
Can
is
you hear me?
something
Okay.
else. We
All
could
right.
definitely hear you. We could definitely hear you.
Hi. So first of all, Carolyn, thank you so much for bringing me on. My name is Kesha of New Mind and Okay, great. Good. Okay. All right, good. All right. So as long as you can hear me. Yeah, so I am a certified consulting hypnotist and intuitive consultant. And I just wanted to come on because I am just extremely excited and passionate. Just sharing the message of how we can learn to love ourselves and how we need to really embrace our own power to have the bodies that we can have, to have beautiful bodies, no matter what shape you are, and just to kind of reclaim our own power and just bring it back and just know that we already have. Just excited to come on and share that message with you today. And hopefully I use it helpful. And it's something that really aligns with the weight loss challenge and something that really kind of gets you going, reset on the right path.
Awesome. And that's so wonderful because it is a reset because we just finished up and wrapped up our 30-day challenge, lose up to 10 pounds in 30 days. And we had some people who've made it. No one really quite lost 10, but they got really close, like 6 pounds, 8 pounds, 3 pounds.
Nice.
Listen, a milestone is a milestone, right? Lost inches, milestone is a milestone. So
Absolutely.
this is the time to reset before we indulge and start into the next challenge. So this is perfect timing, perfect timing. So I am going to now allow the stage for you. If any of you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the comments. Just give Kesha some love, and we will go ahead. You guys, we're broadcasting live on YouTube and on Facebook. And for those of you who pre-registered, there's a special gift that Kesha has for you afterwards, so you don't want to miss that. So I'll tell you how you can, if you didn't register, I'll tell you how you can do it so you can get this special gift that she has for you. All right, Kesha, you ready for them? The stage is all
Yes,
yours.
absolutely.
All right, it's all you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So wonderful. So thank you joining the call. And definitely, I hope you're full, hanging crazy time on right now. But the most important thing is just to tell, remember, no matter who wins, no matter what happens, you are in charge. You are your own president. Like, no one else is coming to your rescue but you. So we have to remember that. We have to retain our power. And no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. All right. So again, today it's all about you and your beautiful body and your wonderful health. So definitely feel free to type through if you have any questions, or anything that needs clarification over as we go on. And just let me know as well what you kind of want to get out of this, or if anything comes to mind. So the first thing I just want to bring up is, again, who I am. I am a certified consulting hypnotist. I am a huge fan of using our minds in order to change our lives, to change our bodies. And my story too, I'll briefly kind of tell you how I got into what we're going to talk about. Is I have not always been someone who would exercise, believed in any sort of nutrition sort of choices at all. I was always one of those people who would just say, I don't like to sweat. I don't like to really move. I feel like, if I just kind of have common sense, or, when I feel like it, things will go. And I found that actually changed when I entered my early 20s. Something shifted. And biologically, I just found that I started to, gain a lot of weight, more weight than I wanted. And that didn't really change me. I was okay with being a thicker, having some thickness to me. Like, some of my family members were thicker too. So I didn't really care. But I kept having to go up in my size, and, going up one number, two numbers, three. And I kind of changed me was that a picture. And oftentimes there is a shift that kind of says, okay, wow, this maybe needs to rein back a little bit. And what it was a picture of outfits that I wore so much and I really felt good in. And I didn't like the way it looked at all, and I freaked out. And it kind of ruined my week, ruined my weekend, almost ruined my month. And I knew I had to do something, not just for the weight, but for, I guess, the imbalance. I just kind of felt I wasn't in balance anymore, and it kind of threw me off. So that was me hitting my tolerance level, and we're gonna talk more about that in a second. But for all of us, I feel like the reason you're probably here, Carolyn's group is obviously because there's probably a moment like in a few shares for you, but oftentimes there's a tolerance limit, and I'm kind of really kind of says, okay, that's it. I need to make some changes. So that was what it was for me. And fast forward several years, and I am now someone who I love working out, exercise. I don't exercise every day. I'm not one of those people, but exercise is an important part of my weeks. I went from not liking it at all to someone who as though exercise is such an important part of my week that if a week goes by where I don't work out, I feel something wrong. I also am someone who definitely watches to a degree what I eat. I do have care, and I have pride in what I eat, and it also is a change. And you may ask, what kind of shifted? And we're going to talk kind of about things that can help you to make that change. And again, if you have any questions at any time, feel free to drop them as well if you need to do that. And first thing we're going to kind of talk about is what to really get to expect. We're talking about the next 4 minutes that we have here. And this talk is really more about mindset as opposed to strategy between the two. And a simpler way that I can really put it is, let's, for example, equate. Right now we're talking about health. We're talking about our bodies. Let's equate that to making money, for example. When you talk about strategies to make money, there are so many strategies. For example, some people find wealth, trading. Come on. Some people find wealth flipping real estate. Find wealth the traditional route. They climb up the ladder and become an executive, and they make money that way. And some people are very untraditional and make money modeling or acting or being musicians. Those are all different strategies, and some things will work better for some people, and other things will work better for others as well. Now, if you took the mindset, however, of everyone that does do well financially, you'll find a lot more similarity. You're going to find the same foundational beliefs. You're going to find the same foundational ways of thinking. You're going to find the same foundational structures that lie underneath those personalities. They're probably very similar. And that's the same way that we have with our health and with our bodies. Okay, so as there are many different strategies for a healthy, beautiful body. There's so many diets out there. You can have a beautiful body with Atkins. You can have a beautiful body with being vegan. You can have a beautiful body doing paleo or eating meat and cheese and everything that you want. But you will likely find the similar mindsets of people that have beautiful bodies, really are in a natural flow with their health. You're going to find similar structure and underlying mindset. And we're going to talk about 3 of those things today really can help you to, and those 3 are going to be tolerance, relationship, and identity. So it's tolerance, relationship, and identity are the 3 keywords we're kind of going to talk about as far as how to align our mindset from the inside out. So before though, I want to do some pre-work and kind of just lay a nice foundation underneath that. And on any sort of journey, it is so important to be kind to yourself, first and foremost. Number 1, you respond best to kindness and encouragement. Okay. Think of, for example, a friend or even a puppy, a kitten, a pet that you might have. And what do you kind of treat them whenever you're to train them or change their behavior? When you love someone or something, in the case of a pet, you don't scream at it and shake it and be like, "Why can't you get this right? Oh, you screwed up again. You did it again. Way to go." You don't do that just to outside of yourself, to someone that you like. The same concept should be taken to yourself. All right. You should not belittle or just punish yourself for making mistakes, for giving into a food temptation that you may have. It's very important to just have compassion and patience, and to know that you're doing the best that you can. Okay, your body actually is going to respond to you better when you approach it out of patience and out of love and compassion. Okay. I really want you to repeat the statement is, I am exactly as I am. And I deserve the best in all things. That is, I am enough exactly as I am, and I deserve the best in all things. And notice if there's any sort of resistance from that statement, if there's anything that sort of pushes back, that kind of feels uncomfortable with that, that to me is a flag that you may need to do more work on towards self-love, more work towards compassion, more work on self-esteem. Because that is an absolute truth. Okay? We're going to repeat that statement again probably throughout. So hopefully by the end of this, you'll be a little more comfortable. On the same wavelength, okay, and really understand the uniqueness of your own body. Okay? Your body cannot and will not always be what society says it should be. Okay? Times change, body trends change constantly. Your body is not a trend. All right? Your body has a natural blueprint that is unique to it. And you should respect that and allow that to express itself. Even now, it's an interesting time because I'm now I'm a tall. you can't tell because I'm sitting down, but I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm pretty thin, and I am seeing a little switch over in the times, in the fashion. Um, I am. I think the tall and skinny. I think our heyday is the sun is setting on us being, socially uh, a type of person, that type of body type that has been, and I'm now seeing the more full figure, you know, the big round, but big boobs. Sort of, it's been popular before, but now stepping into, and it's really interesting to see this when this happens. This is bad life, and the answer is not to always try to force yourself and shoehorn yourself into a body type that may not be natural for you, but it is also just to embrace what you already have. Very important. And that's definitely under the category of self-love. Love yourself no matter what. Love yourself when your body does not align with social standards. It may sometimes, and sometimes it won't, but you have to love yourself regardless. Okay? So remember, I am enough exactly as I am, and I deserve the best in all things. I am enough exactly as I am, the best in all things. And it's okay to want to change, to want to make changes. That's okay. But you should also come out of the place of, if those changes don't happen, or they don't happen when you want them to, that's okay. You are still enough. You are no less for it. That's very important for you to understand. Okay. On to our first sort of keyword we kind of hinted at, and that is tolerance. Okay, so this is the first of the three. Is we're going to talk about tolerance, and the thing about tolerance is we often don't get what we want in life, but we do get what we tolerate. Okay, and this is why we often have situations in our life, or we end up with circumstances that we don't particularly like, because oftentimes we are comfortable with them. It may not be what we want, but we're comfortable with them. And so the situation tends to, this is an interesting thing. We're often fascinated by extreme stories, for example, of hoarders or people that have extreme weight stories. Like oftentimes you can find these stories on the internet and YouTube and on different shows, like BBC documentaries and all this other thing. Because, and what push past several signposts of tolerance that most people could not ignore. And many people seem to have this sort of tolerance. Find that fascinating. Okay. But this is just a sort of sliding scale of what's possible. That is one exchange as well, that other people would also not be like, I couldn't do that. I don't know how you're putting up with that. And one huge way for us to finally get is to change our tolerance level and to adjust them. Okay. How do we do that? Well, at the root of what we all tolerate is our comfort level. Okay. And comfort can be a sticky thing. Comfort can be the devil itself sometimes, because if when we're not as healthy as we have, weight situations or health situations that it's often because we've grown comfortable with things that we don't like. We've pretty much made peace with that. We're accepting that. And you have to remember that real change will occur once we've become so uncomfortable that it actually changes us, and we actually initiate action. Okay. So in this case, intense discomfort is actually our friend, and comfort actually be the enemy. And if you are in a second situation, you have to ask yourself, is it because you're being with it? Yeah. So we all have a higher self that wants this includes that your self is in your body, because you only get one vehicle that we know of, proven. You might have other chances, but that's not proven, but you have one vehicle right now. And I kind of think of your tolerance level as your GPS kind of telling you, okay, make a U-turn, wrong direction. And on how long you go, I mean, obviously, you can drive in the wrong direction right off a cliff, ocean. That's an extreme case, but you don't have to go all the way that far in order to obviously get consequences. And it's really important to know and listen to that voice that's telling us that we're driving in the wrong direction, that internal GPS. Okay, this is tolerance is a sliding scale. A level can be changed, and they can be reset. It's all about really go internal. It's all about just number one, recognizing it when our tolerance is to really just of it. And there's many ways to do it. Hypnosis is actually a very good way to do it. I am a certified hypnotist, and this is one thing that I can do. That's just one way. We can always do it with ourselves. There are many different recordings of it. Okay, so one thing I want you to ask before we move on, and definitely if you have any questions, let me know. But if you have a little pen, if you're taking notes at all, definitely some good journaling questions to ask on this is, number one, what am I tolerating? Food habits. What am I tolerating in my health? That's who I really am, but I'm putting up with it. It's comfortable. What am I tolerating? In exercise habits. What am I putting up with? Right? And one cool way you can also do this is you can actually make a column on a piece of paper, and you can actually see if I can scribble it really. So on one side, all right, do a actual piece of paper. I have a column such as this. On side one, I'm actually going to list wants. Okay, this is the health that I want on side one. On two, you're going to ask, what am I tolerating? And you're going to actually see the gulf between the two. But what this is good, how this exercise can help is it actually, all right, I'm going to write this out, what I want and what am I tolerating? All right, and what this exercise can do is it can actually give you side by side, basically where you're at and where you want to be, and what you're putting. So you can actually treat it like a scale, and just you don't have to go exactly to where you want to be overnight. I actually would encourage you to slide it back. Treat it like a scale, slide it back a bit, just a step. For example, with, what I want to be able to eat fruits and vegetables every day. Let's say that's my goal. But what am I tolerating? I eat them like once every 2 weeks. All right. So that's a big difference. So I don't want to just jump right into eating them every day. It's a little bit much. But what you can do is take it back a step. So instead of eating fruits and vegetables maybe one time every 2 weeks, maybe I can try for maybe something like that once a week. Just one time a week, and I can start there and work my way back. So that kind of changes people and be able to really start to change your tolerance level. And once you start to change your behavior, once you do this over time, you'll find that you're going to default to a tighter tolerance level, and you're going to tolerate less bad health, less bad habits as time goes on. All right. Definitely let me know if there are questions or anything like that. And I'm going to keep it going. So that is the first point. So that's tolerance. Okay. So the second thing is going to be relationship. All right. So, and one thing too, going back to tolerance, tolerance is usually the first thing that happens as far as creating lasting change. As you hit a natural tolerance level, that clicks into place, and that causes you to question where you're going, and that causes change. Okay. So once that happens and you realize that, so now what? So we already kind of mentioned the ways to slide back the tolerance level and to start to make changes. But now what? So what's something else that you can do to change on this? And this brings us to relationship. So we're talking here relationship to our bodies, relationship to our health, and relationship to really our own sense of beauty. Okay. And it's so important. In order to really implement lasting body change, you really must change your relationship with your body. And society has really, really set us up for failure by putting us in a adversarial relationship with our bodies, with food, and with exercise. And that is definitely a huge has with the health that we want. It's put us at war with our bodies. Our bodies are something that must be tamed and beaten into submission, and that we have to just hold our nose and hold our breath and dive in to changes with don't want to eat. Do it until the job gets done, and then maybe we can reward ourselves, and then we have to hold our breath and dive in again, and it's just the adversarial relationship that we kind of have. And we really have to change that. In order to create lasting change in our bodies, you have to change the relationship you have with your body. And again, that starts back at the very beginning there. That definitely plants the seed, and knowing that your body may not always be what society wants it to be. So that in alone that it has, I'm never going to be these beautiful, full bodies out into trend. I'm not like I can pad myself up, try my best, but I'm not. It's my body's natural blueprint is not meant to be in that way. The socially beautiful body, and I have to accept that and accept myself for what it is as an example. All right. So how do you change your relationship with your body in addition to self-compassion? You can change your relationship, your language rather. Definitely change your language is the one thing we have to learn to do. Often talk about ourselves as, things we have to do, and I have to exercise and I really want to, but this is just, an irritating thing. I don't figure if I'll just do it. And oh, I can't wait till it's over, that sort of a thing. Even letting that come out of your mouth, even saying that with repetition, tends to make that worse. And as crazy as it is, we have to actually watch how we speak about habits that we want to implement. Your mind is, especially the part of your mind called your subconscious mind, the oldest part of your mind. All right, it is very, very fashionable, and it is basically here to serve you. It's basically, it does it by automating a lot of things and absorbing things and just kind of wiring your mind for beliefs. And and when you say language and use language about how much you hate that, tends to hardwire you to hate it moving forward. That tends to hardwire you and kind of program you to be at war with the very things that you want to do. It tends to put you at war with your own body, and it's really important to really speak of it kindly, and to also use language that expresses, even if you can't, if you can't stomach up enough to say enough belief to say that you love something, at least you want to shy away from saying that you hate it. And this thing that is very good to say as far as language goes. The power of choice is extremely important and extremely effective. And simply saying I choose, you know, blah blah blah, fill in the blank, is something that can be very, very effective as far as implementing lasting change. For example, 5 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week. You eat Wendy's 4 or 5 days a week, and it's not something that you want to do, but you do it because, number one, it's fast, it's on the way home, and it is easy. You like taste, and it makes you happy. It takes the stress off, or whatever. At the end of the day, that's what you want to do. Choose to eat fast food twice a week moving forward, because I know that this is what my beautiful body wants, because I want to look my best. I want to feel my best. This is where the power of choice comes in. Okay. So notice you didn't say it because, I'm going to just say I love to eat now, even though all I want to do is eat fast food. It's not about want. It can start with choose to do and why you choose to do it. And you tell yourself that over and over. And with time, often, and with repetition, and sometimes faster than that, you're going to find that you're going to be less comfortable with your old habits. And that little voice that's in your higher self, is in the back of your head, is going to speak ignore when your old habit. And that's good, because, again, kick it. So when you become very uncomfortable with your old habits, that's when you're going to change them. So that's is good to do. All right. So you can do this, the power of choice. Again, you can do um, write it out. Say, what am I currently doing? What do I want to do? And you bridge that with I choose. So even though I currently eat, going back to the earlier example, I currently eat Wendy's 4 times a week. I choose to now only eat because I can, because I want to look great in that dress. I want to look good in my clothes, or naked, or I want to feel that my most beautiful, powerful, sexy, healthy version of myself that I want. Okay. Another point on relationship is your body is here to serve your mind, not the other way around. And oftentimes we forget that. We forget that your body is a tool. Your body is here to serve out your greatest ambitions, your greatest dreams. It's here to serve you. It's here to matter and give you an incredible experience on this planet. And we sometimes let the servant run around and do its thing and decides that what it wants, what it wants. And we have to put that relationship back into context, and just remind ourselves that our our bodies are here to serve our mind. Okay, not the other way around. Okay. So to kind of a little bit here as well. And Carolyn, am I able to pull up the little um, handout? If we, I kind of want to talk about and into the category of relationships. This is going to be a little bit on emotional eating. So food addictions are often a cycle. Okay, and this is often related to the emotions that we feel, and we might be able to get a graph on the screen soon. But I want to kind of talk about just kind of the way to stop what's going on. So oftentimes when we
The
kind
graph is up.
of binge on, and it's hard for us to stop, sugar or salt or fat or whatever. We're often it's that often happens because we're dealing with uncomfortable feelings and we're trying to cover that up. Okay. And I have a little bit of a graph here, which I guess might be able to show it in a second. But
It's on
as you can see, it's a perfect circle. Yeah, and it goes
Kesha,
around in a circle. And the way we intercept, whenever we indulge and we eat something, thank you very much. Awesome. So if you see on your right-hand side, it will say the indulgence, okay? Distracts from uncomfortable feelings. So this is whenever we eat we don't want. So this often happens because it is literally just distracting us from something uncomfortable. Now, the way to get to the root, really indulge and cover it up, is to literally just be more mindful. You can start by carrying around a little notepad with you. You can start by, even if it's on your phone, you can definitely take it electronically. Most phones have a notepad feature. And all you do is just kind of be mindful of what triggers into that, and that happens. It could be anything. It could be stress. Obviously, is a big catalyst for boredom. Some people literally they don't want to feel that bored empty feeling and looking to cover it up. Shame, guilt, frustration, worry, anger, like any sort of anything really could trigger it. But the important thing is to really try to get to the root of it and try to name the demon, to exercise it. So kind of see what is causing it. Now, to do this is to let the indulgence happen. If you are serious about stopping it, and then don't, again, exercise self-compassion, let it happen. Ask yourself a couple questions. You're going to ask yourself, number one, I wonder what triggered that. Okay. And again, feel free to make a note of anything that might come up. That's number one. Number two is I wonder what I can do, especially if you can figure out what caused that. Was it an argument that, kind of see what triggered that. But then you want to ask what you could have done instead of that. Okay. And then this is a thing that I certainly can assist you with. You don't ever have to do any of these, certainly do. Okay. So it's really important to keep these things from happening, to really remember, to really get to the bottom of that. Okay. So, and again, if we see we have it, and oftentimes after we indulge, we feel disappointment, we feel shame, we feel anger, we feel these feelings, and we just try to down, but we just ignore them or try our best to ignore them, but they always come back up, and then we cover them up again with food. And this is where we get the cycle. But the point is to try to intercept after it happens, okay? And after feelings sort of arise, we just want to ask ourselves why this is happening and see if we can do it. All right. So if you have any, all right. And we're going to move on to the last part. So we talked about, to recap, we talked about tolerance, first, number one, relationship, and identity. Okay, this one's identity, number three. Okay, so identity is a very important how you approach. Okay, identity is really important in changing how you were, again, everything. So we kind of, I'll say it again. Oh, okay, awesome. Thank you. And yeah, so identity is really one of the most powerful ways to really change your whole viewpoint and your whole mindset. Okay. And the way, probably the easiest thing to kind of shift to relationship, which might be a little bit more involved, to finally identity, which truly, if you would change your whole identity, that's golden. And that can also be one of the more challenging things to do. So who are you as it relates to health? Who are you as it relates to fitness? How do you describe yourself? So that's what we're talking about, identity. And taking it as an example, for me, my old identity was someone who liked exercise. Someone I didn't like to sweat. I didn't like to move. I didn't understand why anyone did things. I ate what I wanted. I ate when I wanted. I ate things that I wanted, and just that was the way it was going to be. That was my old identity. I was someone who did not exercise. I was someone who did not pay any attention to my nutrition. And now I have a completely new. I am an exerciser. I am. I am someone who really pays attention to nutrition. That's who I am. Okay. And really, in order to implement lasting body change, you must step into the identity of a person who has a beautiful, healthy body. And this really is the best way and biggest way to create lasting change. All right. It's from the inside out. That's the best way to do it. Let's talk about this for a second. Um, identity. Identity. What is identity? Your identity is a combination of what you are told you are and who you think you are. Okay. It is always going to be kind of a combination of what other people have, have and who you think you are. And it's really to get what we want to place more emphasis on our own power as it plays into that. Okay? And not what other people say that we are. So that's really important. Um and when others and the identity that others place on us and put on us is really can be very destructive and very limiting. Oftentimes we learn that we are someone who struggles with their weight from others, usually from our family primarily. We learn that we have a good body, quote unquote, or a bad body from others, especially from family. Many of them well-meaning. They don't often don't mean anything of it, but they tend to limit us. They tend to place uh off sometimes just to help us, but not always. Sometimes people actually do uh, uh get off by telling people basically that they have problems, and that's something that we have to take into account. It is so important to really just you know basically to claim our own identity and to define and describe who we are. Okay. And the crucial difference between people who have a healthy body and many others is identity. And it's stating who you know basically who you are and who you are not. Identity resides in the and it resides in the subconscious, which is the same part of your mind that we had talked about. And, and identity defines what you like. It defines what you don't like. It defines what you have, what you don't have. It defines how you act. And identity is so important, and it also places a barrier around you. And if you describe yourself as someone who struggles with their, that's you're going to see that. You're just going to see that show up. You're going to you're going to always have evidence that proves that that's who you are. We have to stop putting health out- outside of ourselves. We have to stop putting beauty outside of ourselves, and we have to step into right now the identity of someone who has the body that you desire. Whenever we approach our sense of fitness from a chasing perspective, as I need to chase this because this is outside of me, that's when we tend to run into issues. We tend to always be that person. We tend to always be the person who is chasing fitness, who chase the ideal body. But when you approach this from someone who already has that ideal body, like perfect health is me. It's part of that's me. That's what I have. Then you will start to kind of live your life of maintenance, of maintaining what you already have. And that can be a really big shift. Okay. Um, for example, people, when you think about someone who has a body, to lose weight, who has the body size that you don't want, oftentimes, now this is some people live out of a permanently get stuck in a sense of never having the right body, no matter what. Obviously, that can go all the way to a disorder, but people have a healthy identity and a healthy body to show for it. They don't live their life out of a sense of, oh, I gotta lose, gotta exercise, gotta work, gotta struggle. The struggle is real. I gotta struggle all the time. They are living out of a sense of already having it and their choices to maintain it. So it's something that's very it flows naturally. It already just presents itself with, yeah, I'm an exerciser. I have the body of one, so I get up and I exercise. That's what I do. Yeah, I might have some dessert, but I don't go overboard because that's not what I. And it's just very natural. They have already accepted this beautiful figure as part of them, and it's not something that they're beating themselves up and wanting to chase. It's already there. That's why just it's can be a thing sometimes, but not necessarily. With repetition and with allowingness, you can begin to take on this identity for your set. Hypnosis can definitely help, most certainly. And all you have to do is just is check it out and if this, it all starts in your mind, and it all starts with that impressionable subconscious mind, which very much is open to your own programming. Okay, so you can actually itself yourself to be receptive of taking on a new identity, to be receptive of stepping into a new identity that is inclusive of what you want instead of exclusive, that allows that to be real for you, that allows that to be a part of you. I think it's very important, and it really can create big lasting change, okay? Because your mind is the best tool you already have to create big lasting change. And stepping into a new identity that allows you to already have right now what you want is a huge tool and a huge step to have. Okay. So, yeah, and back to an earlier example, my exercise habits changed when I changed my my tolerance level. I started to change my relationship with exercise, my relationship with this. I started to really, really not say, "Oh, I got to eat right," I grumble. I actually became, very, very excited to make to, to make better choices, and especially when I started to see results, I loved it, and it was something that quickly became a part of my habits, and eventually a part of my identity. So I began to with time, I started to say I am an exerciser. That's who I am now, and I enjoy it. And take repetition. And oftentimes we don't get in the situation that we are in overnight. I know I didn't. This was a gradual thing that I kept going past all the road signs and kept taking it on. And
Yes. Hey, Kesha. Can you hear me? Don't know what happened. Hello?
but it has, how do I find motivation?
Okay, there she is. She's
that's a
back.
very good question. Very good question. So, one thing that I would say that's very, very important for you to do is, number one, I want you to really get clear on your big why, on why you're doing this. One thing that could happen is if our why is not big enough to create, that we want to change, that we want to make in our lives, we'll often will lose motivation. we often will fail to really we'll fail to find that fire, the reason that really gets us going. And oftentimes we got to dig a little bit deeper. And it's not enough to say, oh, well, it I'll be healthier, or that's what I should do. Or I used to be this size and I want to get back. Sometimes it's enough, but sometimes it may not be. You might have to actually go even deeper to figure out why. What is your big why? Okay, what is truly motivating you? All right, and don't.
Okay, all right. I don't know what this is, a lay somewhere in here, but Kesha, thank you.
So I can,
okay.
you know,
Okay, we're gonna wait and see what happens.
change the world.
All right, so you guys, yeah, so Kesha for some reason there's a delay. I'm not understanding why, but she said she's done. And I am just so excited. I'm gonna see if everything catches up and bring her back on.
Very,
she's still
it's very personal to you, like maybe you want to get back out there, or if you want to be able to turn on a certain love.
Right. I'm gonna wait until she catches up. So I'll be right back.
Or anything, you really have to dig deep and find this in order to do that. Okay. So that is one thing. And I certainly innovated for the reason that you're wanting to make this change. Also, again, your subconscious is completely programmable, and with repetition, with you actually can train yourself to become more motivated. You can actually train yourself to find fire. Hypnosis, again, is something that can help. Over time, we can actually learn to act to really.
Okay. Oops. Hey you guys. So Kesha has definitely brought us some valuable nuggets. Man, about the relationship with your body, about the tolerance, about just saying you choose. So yeah, for some reason it was like a big delay and we're not understanding why. And then she's back. Not understanding why this happened, but I'm going to keep talking and we'll see when she's able to come back. So I'm gonna take her off for a second and she's chatting with me in the background. Okay. All right, so I'm letting her know for a second. So yeah, if I don't know why there's a delay, but for some reason there is. So oh well. But in any event, but like I said, she definitely, dropped some big nuggets on now I got to figure out what the messages were. So let's see, she had this that she shared with us. So about literally about the patterns when you have things that are the cycle of emotional habits. So, being uncomfortable, feeling intensified by just things being too hard when you're deciding that you're going to go on this weight loss journey. And she's talking about the indulgence and the things that's basically what distracts you from the uncomfortable things. So, like it's very comfortable to I think she talked about, going to get your fast food all the time. And those are the things that you want to indulge in. But we know that that's a distraction from your goal, and your goal is to live a more healthier lifestyle. So how you break that, so then you have a post-indulgent feeling. So now after you know, ate the Big Mac, now you're having these feelings of disappointment and shame and anger and frustration within yourself. And so then it leads to, being uncomfortable. And then it just kind of resurfaces and goes below your awareness of like, oh, I can't believe I did that. So now you can choose to ignore the uncomfortable feelings and get back to the things that are right for you. So I mean, that's the cycle that we all go through. And it's really something that you just have to be aware of. You just really have to be aware. I'm going to check back and see if she's caught up with our. Okay, good. She can hear me now. Okay, good. Kesha. Kesha. You can hear me now. But she's not caught up to me. Okay, so when she hears me, she'll start talking. Oh, here we go. I see you. You can hear me now? Are you caught up? I can't hear. No, can't hear. Can you hear me? Okay. So we are, let me see. So this has been challenging, you guys, but you know what? We just go with the flow anyway, and we make this thing happen and work. So, Kesha, I am so happy and proud that you were able to join us tonight. I know we definitely had a question, and I know you answered it from, who was it? From Darren. Thank you, Darren. Want to know how you sustain motivation. I hope that you was able to get the answer. And so anybody has any questions or want to reach out to Kesha, just definitely reach her at New World Mind and Spirit on Facebook, correct? And then you can also reach out to me, Magnify Your Essence. I can make sure I make the connection for Miss Kesha. So if you can hear me, I see you nodding your head. I don't know what part you're on, but if you want to say goodbye to everybody, I don't know where we're at with this. We're just going with it. Oh, well, okay. Well, you guys, that's going to be a wrap for this evening. So we're going to try to bring the video. There's a copy of her training. So I'm going to see if I can get it so that way, make sure that you get the information without any of the glitches. And you know what? That happens and life goes on, right? But I want to thank you guys for tuning in and for taking time to be with us. And just know, if you got anything out of this, basically just have this whole healthy mindset by having a beautiful mind, by having this way of having this beautiful mindset, about your body. And it goes with the three things that she talked about, the relationship, the tolerance, and what was the other one? It was the tolerance, the relationship, and it was something else, and your identity. Those are your three key elements. So if you keep those things in love with yourself and with your body, she gave us an exercise where we can put your wants on one side and your tolerances on the other side. And that way you can identify what it is that you want and what it is that you can and won't tolerate. So I think if you work on those things and work on self-image and body love, well, no matter where you're at in this process, then you will definitely be able to develop a healthy mindset going forward. So I want to tell Kesha to hold for a second, but for you guys out there, thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys later. Continue to be fierce and be fearless, be empowered, be inspired, and most importantly, just be magnified. Thanks a lot, you guys. Take care. Bye.